everyone. Welcome back to the podcast, Tennessee Tuesdays. This is episode number
11.
Won't say if you're keeping track in Spanish. No tequila. Back on 75 hard. At least I am.
And I'm still sick.
Babs she's gone from, I don't even know what she has. It's more from the vid to monkeypox to...
I have pneumonia.
No, she has pneumonia. She got pneumonia, and I think it's the doctor's fault because they could have fixed this a long time ago, but...
They want to keep sending you home with cough syrup, Mucinex.
Everything but what you actually need.
Everything but antibiotics to cure my cough.
So, anyway, she sounds much better. So hopefully...
Not keeping Matt up as night as much.
Hopefully the coughing will be down, but I thought this is a fun one. So you don't know what this one is yet, because I told you we were going to do something else, but I switched gears, because this article's been kind of floating around lately and been getting some traction. This is just a random person that wrote this article, and it was on some news break and some other news things. The top 10 reasons not to move to Tennessee.
Oh, this will be interesting.
Okay.
Let's see if I agree with these top 10.
That's all I want to do. I want to get your reactions to these and see what you think of these. Because I mentioned this on my Friday Thoughts. I don't know if you listened to it last week.
I did, but I don't know if I remember it because I was pretty...
So I basically said if you're being held up moving by bugs or weather or humidity or like lack of fast food restaurants... You should probably stay where you're at. Don't waste your time moving. That's what I said.
Probably.
And it was funny because there were some comments like as I was scrolling through and they're like, you know, it's funny you talk about karma and, you know, all this stuff and now you're complaining about people leaving you comments. You should just be happy. Like that's what one comment said or something. And I do. I talk about karma a lot. Like I think whatever you put into this world you're going to get back. But I also don't encourage people to be dumb. Like we have the internet at our disposal. Like you can learn.
You can Google pretty
just
much
about
everything.
Anything. And the fact that someone like asks a dumb question and thinks that they deserve my time to ask a dumb question and that I should respond to them. Like you've been through my messages and my social media and you see how many questions I get on a daily basis.
But also you guys are not entitled for us to give you an answer. At the same time, we do this.
That's what's funny is like we just do that. Like we do this
is
for
for
fun.
Ourselves.
Like we have fun. Like we have fun doing this. This is fun time for us. Like, and we feel like we have some experience that we can share with people.
But if you do leave a dumb comment, you're probably not going to get a response. And I enjoy laughing at your dumb comments.
And it's a very small like amount of people. Like most of our like followers and you know supporters and stuff, like anybody that supports us is like along the same line and like agrees like why would you ask such a dumb question, or like are you really scared of bugs? Like that's most of our group. Like there's a very small amount of people that, and it's usually people that just found us, and that's fine. Like I'm good with them like not following us anymore and unsubscribing. Because I don't want them here. Like, I want to be talking to our people. Like,
this place, Tennessee, in every state, other state, it may not be for you. You need to go visit.
What do you mean?
And experience all the different seasons. Come in spring, come in fall, come in summer, come in winter. And experience all of it.
There's no perfect state. Is that what you're saying?
No, there's no perfect state.
Wait, I thought this was like...
I wish there was, but there's not.
So.
Because right now, I mean, Tennessee is not perfect with the weather. It's a little hot. And people complain about it being a little hot out here.
It is. And someone gave us a... Like, I don't know if they were trying to make a dig at it. They're like, hey, how's that weather out in Tennessee? It's cool and comfortable here on the California coast at 70 or something. And I was like, I don't know, it's warm, but, you know, I woke up, walked out on my porch, had a cup of coffee, didn't have to commute to work. My kids went out on the lake. I don't know, life is pretty good to me, but like, that's just me. Like
this morning, I woke up, went outside, and I was like, oh my God, this weather is beautiful.
It was cold.
The mornings are still cold. not like freezing where you're like, I need a jacket, but they're nice.
It was
then
brisk.
it warms up, but then it also cools back down at night.
And then you deal with it. Like, it's just funny. Like, people, I don't know. Everyone thinks like everything needs to be the same and similar and perfect,
Nope.
but it's not going to be. So, 10 reasons not to move to Tennessee. Number 10,
Let's go.
high cost of living.
Oh, that's funny.
I laughed at it because coming from California, or especially if you're someone coming from New York or up that way.
If you're coming from any state and you live in a big city, cost of living is way higher there than here.
Our friends Rich and Daisy that came from Hawaii.
Oh, Hawaii is outrageously
Hawaii.
expensive.
Yeah, it's perfect in Hawaii. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous, but you got to pay the price to live there.
But California is outrageous to live there right now. I mean, housing, gas, everything else in general is high.
So I thought it was funny, the high cost of living. I mean, that came in at 10.
Yeah, there's probably higher cost of living areas in Tennessee.
Nashville, Knox, like
But
in
there's
the city,
not...
probably.
Not the whole state of Tennessee is that way.
No. And they didn't specify anything. So high cost of living was kind of funny. Number 9 was homelessness.
We don't really have that much homelessness, so
So
I'm
again,
not
I think-
agreeing with that.
I don't know if this applies to a city.
Yeah,
Like
Knoxville has
if you go to
more
Knoxville, you're going to get it.
homeless people than we do in Maryville.
Nashville, Broadway is entertaining. But again, unless you've been like Skid Row and around Staples Center and, in cities that have serious homelessness.
And have experienced it, we're on like a very, very mild scale.
It's like cute.
It's kind of laughable.
Yeah, it's cute that you're like, oh, homelessness? Like,
when you see them, you're like, oh, I forgot those like people existed because we don't see them very often.
Homelessness, which that's like the politically incorrect term. It's a person experience houselessness now or something, or temporary, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's actually an interesting law going into effect July 1st in Tennessee where you can't camp out on public land? Public property anymore? I don't know. We're going to get into that one. We'll figure that one out, but that's an interesting one to tackle homelessness. So
That was a cute one, but no.
Number 8. This one was funny too. Taxes. Like the state doesn't have an income tax.
Yeah, I don't know what taxes you guys are complaining about. California, you probably pay so much in taxes from your paycheck.
Like my paycheck was gone, I feel like.
More of your paycheck goes to taxes than you even get back.
I mean, there were three gas taxes or 4. I think there were 3 and they just passed a 4th.
Yeah, there's too many.
Speaking of which, like President Joe Biden today announced that he's going to think about putting a pause on the federal gas tax, but he's not going to do anything until Friday.
I mean, just do it now.
He's encouraging more people to ride a bike.
Okay, I understand.
You
Certain people.
You didn't even get my bike joke.
No.
The video of him riding his bike.
Well, falling down.
Man, that one. All right, I thought that would be better, but all right.
I wasn't thinking.
Yeah, so taxes was kind of funny.
That's stupid.
Property tax, I think, were less than what we were paying in California, if not similar, which is still less than 1%, I think.
I think we pay like $900 a year in property taxes.
So, taxes was funny. Number 7, bugs.
Okay. Bugs, I mean, we have bugs everywhere. They're everywhere. They're not that bad.
And you attract bugs. Bugs like you.
If you guys just go down to your local, like, Home Depot, Lowe's, like, Rural King Tractor Supply, you can buy this handy dandy stuff that goes on your water hose, and you can spray your yard. And it works great. You won't get bugs.
Or you could take...
Or even use bug spray.
Babs has an old wives' tale that she takes sulfur powder
that only
for ticks.
works for ticks.
And do you think that works?
I mean, I haven't really done it this year, but I do think it works because the last few years I have done it and I have never got a tick on me. This year I have not done it and I got a tick on my leg.
Babs is not encouraging anyone to go out and ingest sulfur powder.
You have to buy like a medical grade sulfur powder. You can't just go to like your local hardware store and buy sulfur powder.
And I think
Not
chickens
gonna
too.
work.
Chickens has been a big thing with the bugs.
Yes, definitely.
Like
I think the chickens.
They knock down bugs big time around here, I think. So.
And I think you get more bugs out here if you have like a creek,
water, yeah,
a pond that's not really filtered.
Like she gets worked by chiggers.
And
chiggers,
we
if
don't
you go through a field.
Those are bad. Those will eat me alive, and I will cry for weeks.
Like, there's been times where Babs come out in, like, pants and, like, socks all the way up, like, just because she does not want to get chiggers.
Like,
and
I will not go in a field if the grass is tall.
You probably wouldn't go in the field anyways, most likely.
No, probably not.
Just because
I try to stay where I can actually, like, see my feet.
Poor Babs. She gets...
I don't like I don't like chiggers, but I also don't like other creepy crawling
So why do you live in
animals.
Tennessee then? That's a reason not to move to Tennessee.
Because I don't think we've had bad bugs here.
Well,
The only time I had like chiggers was in Kentucky, and when I went in the neighbor's field and the grass was tall.
well, according to this list, that should be a reason not to live here.
Okay, chiggers are way different than mosquitoes because if you itch them, they bury themselves farther in your skin.
I was getting emotional right now talking about chiggers.
So you have to not itch yourself if you get them.
Okay, let's go to 6. This one I agree with, but it's not a reason not to move here. Lack of infrastructure / public transportation.
Okay, we don't have the best public transportation per se where we live, but we also don't live in a big city.
You're in a rural country.
So, I mean, if you lived in, like, maybe Knoxville,
It's public transportation.
Nashville, like a bigger city, you probably have better
So that's why I
public
think this list
transportation.
jumps all over the place. It's not really specific to one area or the next. Like, we don't have sidewalks anywhere around. Like, It's
No.
funny when you drive through Maryville and there's, like, no sidewalks.
I mean, there are some places you do get sidewalks, but a majority of the area, there is no sidewalks.
Which does stink for people that maybe have to walk or ride a bike to work. Or maybe they don't have a vehicle. Or, but you see people walking along 321. It's a
Which
full-fledged,
is
like, highway.
absolutely insane, because I would not walk down 321.
No, and you'll see them in the rain or whatever. There's no like way for them to get going. But again, that's now you're adding tax dollars in and more infrastructure in.
But if you also choose to live in a rural area, I'm assuming you know that there is not going to be very good public transportation.
Mm-hmm.
So you probably should make a wise choice of where you want to live.
Again.
If you need public transportation.
Not a perfect world. There's not a perfect state anywhere. So, number 5, high crime rates. It did note Nashville and Memphis.
Okay, which is understandable.
Los Angeles, Chicago, New York City, like any Dallas, Houston,
Big city.
Oklahoma City. Like it doesn't matter where you go. Any big city is going to have crime.
You're not going to escape crime.
There's no perfect state.
Sorry, guys.
Number 4, no vibrant nightlife.
Just drive a few minutes down the road to Knoxville and you got plenty of nightlife if you want it.
I mean, Knoxville is a blast. Like especially.
But where are they talking about? Because Nashville has
know.
great nightlife.
Memphis does too.
I mean,
Like all the big cities do. I mean, if you're moving to a rural town, there's
You're
not going to be
not
vibrant
going-
nightlife.
and I'm okay with not having, because I could drive 20 minutes down the road and go to the Cotton Eye Joe.
Or you're going to go to the community center and it's going to be a local family like picking a banjo and a guitar and singing.
You
and
also
stuff,
can go
and,
play bingo at the local.
Like, so what do you want? Like vibrant club nightlife? Yeah, again, don't move there then. Like it's no perfect state.
If
Like,
you're going to move to some city in some random state that you're looking at, go to that city and visit it.
But there is not a city that I know of that would check all 10 of these boxes.
No, because even living in California, where we lived in California, we didn't have vibrant nightlife. You had to drive.
You want nightlife and you want public transportation and...
I mean, we didn't even have public transportation where we lived that you could...
No. We didn't have sidewalks either.
Not very many.
So, again, I don't know. It's a tough list. It's a tough list. It's like those lists where they come out and they're like, these are the top 10 candies. And
do they just ask, like, random 100 people? Because this is awful.
Yeah. Number 3, limited job opportunity.
There's plenty of job opportunities. There are places hiring left and right around here. I mean, you could drive down the street and probably see 5, 6 hiring signs. I just think people are lazy nowadays and they're dependent on the government for assistance. If you want a job, there's a job out there.
You can make $19 at Panda Express right now.
I mean, it depends on what you want.
$19 at Panda Express. Like,
it's great.
Everyone complained. They wanted $15 minimum wage. And look, we're here. And we've got inflation. And we're going to go into recession. Like, just wait. Because y'all ain't seen nothing yet. You think gas prices are high? Like, I was explaining this to Babs at the store today. You think gas prices are high and, like, costs are going up? Just wait. Because the truckers have been paying thousands of dollars to fill up their tanks. And that has all been, just going on. And has not been passed down to consumers yet. So now with the food shortages and with the trucker costs and everything, because 80% of our stuff comes from trucks still, just wait. Watch what food prices do here in the next couple months.
I mean, I was complaining because I wanted to buy some garlic or cream cheese.
Cream cheese that was $7.
And it was a really tiny can. And I was like, I'm not paying $7 for that.
Just wait. Just wait and watch what
happens.
I
understand it was name brand, but I was like, I'll just buy plain cream cheese because guess what? I'm still satisfied with that.
It's going to get scary. Number 2, unpredictable weather.
Yeah, I mean, there is a time period we do have unpredictable weather, but...
Well, they said the summers are scorching and you can't go outside.
I haven't had a summer where I cannot go outside and still do a physical activity. I've actually ran the last past 2 years during summer, and I have not croaked over dead yet.
Well, according to them, it's unpredictable weather, and it's a reason not to move here.
And if it's that hot, I mean, there's so much water around. I'm sure you could find some way to go to the lake. Even if you just went and swam from the shore, you could get wet.
Well, you can only get so wet. Like, you can get a kiddie pool with, 6 inches of water.
Well, then you can enjoy that. But it's still not that hot outside that you can't go out there, mow your yard. In California, it was way worse. You could only go outside for a while before you were like, it's too hot. Like, I think I'm going to pass out.
Well, you couldn't run your sprinklers either.
Yeah, so I guess you weren't mowing your lawn anyways in California.
So you're not doing that anyways. And then number 1, top reason not to move to Tennessee, it's conservative. So I think the conservative thing is funny because this climate we're in right now with liberal, Republican, conservative, Democrat, words just get thrown around. And I don't necessarily think conservative is tied to Republican anymore. I don't think liberal is tied to Democrat anymore. I think they're all totally different things. Mackenzie was talking about this the other day with somebody, because her grandma made a joke, about, oh, it's your president or whatever. And, they turn around and were like, oh, you were supporting Biden? And Mackenzie laughed and she's like, are you kidding me with my dad? As conservative as my dad is, that's funny. And she knows the difference between saying you're Republican or being conservative. And it's conservative values and stuff. Putting family first and teaching people to be good people. I talk about it a lot on the Friday Thoughts one. And I've raised them, I think, pretty good. Hey, whatever you work for and work towards, you're going to get back, right? If you, and that's part of the whole team sport thing,
you
working
put
together.
In the effort.
Whatever you're going to put in, you're going to get back out. If you're going to sit around and wait for everybody else to do it for you,
you're not going to get much out of it.
Exactly. So the number one thing not to move to Tennessee was conservative, which I thought was funny.
That is funny.
Because that's very obvious. Like, that's a reason you do move here.
Yeah.
It's because it's a conservative
It is
state.
very conservative.
Because we are all good people and want to help each other out and also want to make a living. And if we make that money, you keep that money and then we invest it back and we build small business and like all of that. That's the reason for coming here.
Exactly.
So I thought it was funny. But it was funny because at the bottom there was also like, now there are some benefits to living in Tennessee. And it said cost of living, which they already said high cost of living.
So they are contradicting themselves?
Climate, because there's 4 seasons, but unpredictable weather, again at number 2. And friendly, welcoming people. But again, number 1, because it's a conservative state.
So
you're saying
I'm not sure. Someone was really confused when they made this.
So,
but if any of these 10 are on your list, you probably shouldn't move here.
like if they
Stay where you're at.
like if they stand out to you, then stay.
Like,
Because I would add like benefits like small businesses, having pride in your school or your family or your town, like cleaning up, like wanting to see, invest in your town so your town is better, right? Like the people, the outdoor activities, it's endless, like the reasons
to move
we
here.
wanted to move here. The proximity to the East Coast, north, like the northern part of the United States, the southern part, like you're in the middle. You
Yeah.
can go all over the place. You can go to New York in 8 hours. You can go down to Florida. You could be at the bottom of Florida in 10 hours. You could be, or 12 hours. You could be over to the East Coast in 6 hours.
Yeah.
Like it's a great proximity. Like it's fantastic. But people are always going to find a reason.
There's always going to be a reason someone tries to bring someone else down.
Yeah. Exactly. Like that's all it is.
But if you hear these reasons from someone else, go visit the place. If you truly want to move to this, whatever state it is, it does not have to be the state of Tennessee. Go there and visit it and invest your time into figuring out if that fits your family's needs.
Moving is such a
Don't
big
just watch
deal.
someone's YouTube channel and go off of what someone has to say. Like, yeah, that's great information, but go and actually experience that state or that city you're looking into.
Yeah, like I encourage anyone, like don't just take our word for it. Like we said, we do this just because it's fun. Like we like doing this together as a team. We know it helps people, it brings benefit to people, but this is just one piece. Like come out, like I love when people message me and they're like, oh my gosh, we're out here for a week. This is so fun. Like we were doing this or that, or what do you suggest we do? Where should we go for dinner? Those messages, reply to those all day long. Like anybody that's actually out here and like looking and investing into this area, I'm like, cool. Like I like that. Like I want more of that here. Like we need to invest in each other and be supportive of each other. But if you're going to sit behind your computer and you're going to be like, hey, how are the bugs?
You're not going to get a response.
I'm going to say they're terrible. Like stay where you're at. We don't need you. Like simple as that. I don't care who gets offended by it or what. Like I'm not here to make money off of this. Like I'm doing this dedicating my own time and putting all this information out because we like to provide the information again to make this place better. Like we have native Tennesseans that come up to us all the time and they're like, hey, you talked about this on the podcast. I had no idea. Or you showed me this in a YouTube video. I've lived here my entire life and had no idea that this was going on. That's all we want to do. Like we love bringing the exposure to things and bringing value.
And everyone that has moved here that does follow our channel, they all really enjoy it. But they also put in the time and effort to come out and visit it and invest their time and energy because they truly wanted to move.
I mean, the Halcombs have been coming for 3 years now. Multiple trips. Multiple seasons just to see what it's like.
They've came almost every season just to experience them all.
And you have to. Because packing up your entire life and moving, like, I get some people do it for fun. Like,
and
it's
people say
enjoyable,
that
but
winters are extremely cold here. Yeah, you get some cold days, but most of them, they're enjoyable. You can wear a t-shirt and a jacket and some pants.
Has it ever snowed where you've been stranded and have not been able to drive anywhere?
No, not at all.
It's that unpredictable weather. It's crazy.
You might get rain where you have to physically stop because you can't see.
But
But
it's here and gone.
it's lasts like 10 minutes and you're like, oh, back outside I go.
So that was the top 10 reasons not to move to Tennessee that we do not agree with, but that's out there. So we thought that'd be fun.
We also don't have to agree with everything that people think. Neither do you guys.
Bull honky.
I mean, some people might.
If you don't agree with me, I'm clicking unfollow.
Sorry.
That is it from East Tennessee. We appreciate all of y'all. Find us on the internet, on all the social media channels. We appreciate all the support, all the follows, the likes, the shares. Please leave us reviews. It keeps bumping us up a little bit. That's Tennessee Tuesdays.
Have a wonderful Tuesday night.
Enjoy it. That's it from East Tennessee.